Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now February 17th of 2025, and given that there's a lot of things going on right now between Meghan Markle, the Netflix drama, everything else going on between herself, CEO Greg Peters, the many executives over there, and also various other studios within the Hollywood bubble, within the film industry that are now turning their back against Meghan Markle. They want nothing to do with her anymore, whether it's cameos, small roles, or even commercial roles. Even commercial studio companies are ditching Meghan Markle. We have a lot more to talk about that in the coming days. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. So one thing about Meghan Markle is that we know that a lot of studios are just really beginning to realize and wake up about how toxic she truly is, how much of a ratings disaster actress she really is. We all witnessed this with the trailer for With Love Meghan and the type of response that got, but things just got worse when it comes to Meghan Markle now in the process of creating a legal case and taking legal action against the studio. And we have a lot more to talk about that as well. Now, we already know at the same exact time that Meghan Markle is desperately trying to cling on to her supposed status of an actress, right? She's trying to remain in the limelight, in the spotlight, whatever have you. She's trying to remain what she believes as relevant. Now, this is where it gets interesting, is that on top of everything here, one thing about Meghan Markle is that she is beginning to really realize that her overall career, if you even want to say that she has one, is on the line. It's beginning to go down the drain. She's losing roles like flies. They're all dropping like flies. So, listen, this is where it really begins to actually serve as the beginning of the end. Now, on top of everything here, with Meghan Markle endlessly creating more drama at Netflix for her show called With Love Meghan, one major development that is now active involves more to do with Meghan Markle taking legal action after her Netflix drama went viral. It turns out that Meghan Markle is already creating a legal team toward HBO after they canceled her fitness series that was going to be called Motivated by Meghan, that was going to hold a similar format to With Love Meghan by Netflix. The main reason why Meghan Markle was fired and axed from this project by HBO was that the executives learned about her behavior at Netflix, and she was also demanding a higher payout for the series. As of now, she is already gathering a legal team toward HBO to create a lawsuit against them, and is already blaming the HBO executives for engaging in the typical claims of sexism, misogyny, and now discrimination after they terminated her show. Another major factor here is that HBO is looking to salvage the show in some way, shape, or form, to some degree at least, with some creative changes that will be applied, and will be placing in a new personality / actress to take over Meghan Markle's spot. This also is another reason why Meghan Markle is now reportedly in the process of creating a legal team against HBO to create a lawsuit for why they canceled out her show, where she claimed that the entire concept of the series was indeed finalized in her contract and was going to be announced by HBO during the spring of this year. Now, to make matters worse for Meghan Markle is that between the drama she created for both Netflix and HBO, many other studios are now beginning to follow suit by axing her from projects. Even commercial companies are now in the process of ditching Meghan Markle from commercial contract deals, such as when she lost that Carnival Cruise Line's contract, as we discussed just yesterday. Her legal team, her legal case toward HBO in the midst of the Netflix drama, is the latest development that will likely go on for many months on end, as she prepares for not just the release of With Love Meghan, but also the contract renewal and or expiration over at Netflix. Now, before I move on, that's another big subject, is that she is desperately crossing her fingers at this point that Netflix renews her contract at Netflix beyond 2025. But the whole drama with HBO and other studios out there, many other studios, mind you, we talked about the whole Universal scenario a couple of weeks ago, but one thing that really was an eye-opener to me is the fact that she is now beginning to realize that we have these mega studios within the Hollywood bubble that want nothing to do with her at all, to any degree, and she was going to get millions upon millions of dollars by HBO for this series With Love Meghan. And we talked about this briefly, I would say around a month ago. You guys may recall this, you've been following here for a while. but we did talk about how this was going to basically be about her life and her love for things like yoga, strength training and all this crazy stuff that nobody wants to watch Meghan Markle do. There are various other things on social media that you can just watch that does the same exact thing. It's pointless to have HBO pouring millions of dollars into a budget for a show like that. That really isn't all that original, to be quite honest. I mean, we have a lot of that on social media, on many different sites. But moving onwards, many board members at HBO decided to also inform other studios that they are in contact with of course, to advise not to hire Meghan Markle for anything. Her legal case that is now moving forward toward HBO is going to be one of the biggest impacts to HBO in years, as Meghan Markle is creating nothing but trouble at this moment. Her series, Motivated by Meghan, from HBO, is supposed to have a massive announcement this year, with a release date for April of 2026. That slot is now open for a brand new version of the show that will now no longer support Meghan Markle. Her legal case toward the HBO executives and its CEO is also in the pre-planning stages as we speak, and Meghan is reportedly taking her time on that actual legal action toward HBO until she figures out everything with Netflix as a whole. So she also made legal warnings toward Netflix. We talked about this for re-editing her show with Love Meghan because they cut out a lot of scenes. They deleted a lot of sequences, especially the ending of the film is now no more. And Mindy Kaling is also very, frustrated about that. And we see what's going on here. This is a very slow turn of the tide. We have some movie studios, not all, beginning to ditch things like DEI, and they're abolishing their DEI departments. It's all going down the drain. Some studios are a little misleading about that, where they say, we're getting rid of DEI, but in the fine print, it's all like some various aspects of DEI will still remain in some shows and or actual film projects. But I digress on that. This is interesting because the fact that Meghan Markle is going this far, to this degree, to take action against HBO, in the midst of everything else going on with Netflix, I think it just goes to show you that she's really in all of it for the money, not the art. She's very greedy. This is probably the best word to describe Meghan Markle, and I have been saying this for a very long time, for years. That she's very greedy, self-absorbed, narcissistic in nature, very inauthentic, disingenuous, whatever word you want to use there. I mean, they all fit together with her personality, that's true. But we see all of that taking effect on studios like HBO, Netflix, and among others like Universal, and what happened with the studios responsible for Carnival Cruise Lines and their commercials. That's a whole different subject that we talked about just yesterday. That was a very interesting development that occurred, but like I say, I mean, Meghan Markle, I think, is really losing a lot of roles left and right at this point, and I would not be too shocked if she goes Amber Heard style and just disappears, vanishes like thin air. And I think that's gonna happen if it really gets that bad. I really do, because look, we know that Netflix, they're making the wrong call here by releasing the show. We know that this is creating a big impact on her overall way of how she's perceived by different studios, to the point that they want nothing to do with her, hence HBO. She's getting very offended over that, to the point where she's now creating a legal team against them. But anyway, I would like to hear what everyone has to say about everything else going on between Meghan Markle, the Netflix situation, HBO, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.